just gotta move the lamp closer. So we stopped at chapter 2 yesterday, which is quite the progress. These chapters are pretty long. There's 12 in total. Wait, not 12, just 9. Okay, this is 10. There's only 10 chapters in this one? Ooh, so we're literally two-tenths of the way there. That's awesome news, because I want to watch this with my mom, these movies. But I don't want to watch it before finishing the book. Yo, Queen! Welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Let me get a pen. I have a specific pen that I use. Yeah, I found it. Okay. So starting chapter 3. 3 is company. Good? Awesome. I love when you're happy. If you're happy, I'm happy. Alright, so. You ought to go quietly, and you ought to go soon, said Gandalf. 2 or 3 weeks had passed, and still Frodo made no sign of getting ready to go. I know, but it is difficult to do both, he objected. If I just vanish like Bilbo, the tale will be all over the Shire in no time. Of course you mustn't vanish, said Gandalf. That wouldn't do at all. I said soon, not instantly. If you can think of any way of slipping out of the Shire without it being generally known, it will be worth a little delay. But you must not delay too long. What about the autumn or after our birthday? Asked Frodo. I think I could probably make some arrangements by then. What's up, Dre? A long time. Yo, Eric Scott, welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Yeah, I feel like it seems like it was a long time, but yeah. What day was yesterday, physically? So, yesterday was Friday. Yesterday, which was literally 1.5 hours ago. Because when I stand up, I think there's something wrong with me physically. Because when I stand up from sitting for a while, I get really dizzy and lightheaded. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just your blood rushing. It's called, hold on, I forgot what it's called. Hold on, wait. Like a flash. Dang it, I forgot the term. But it happens to me too, don't worry. But you could be anemic. If that's also a possibility. You should get it checked out if you think it's really bad. Oh, you were live streaming and was reading something. Oh yeah, that was Quran. That was something I was just trying out. It was like new. Like I didn't want to like make that normal. Like I was considering it for a long time, but I was thinking like, oh, it's not good to expose your good deeds, or oh, it's just like performative if you live stream it. It should be between you and God, or it's not very engaging with the audience. And there's a lot of things, like being a girl, obviously, like that's, your voice is more awala compared to like a guy's. But still, like, it's Quran, like Quran has its benefits. Like anytime, because yesterday, Abdul, I forgot his name, Khadir or something. That guy who comes here and stuff. Like he was telling us like, oh, check out my channel. Like I uploaded a short. I thought it was him who recited that, and I got so jealous. Like I was like, man, I want to do that. So then I was like, okay, if he thinks it's fun to recite out there, I'm gonna do it too. But it turns out it was not actually him. It's his imam at the masjid. I was like, oh dang it, you actually clarified way after the stream ended. So yeah, I don't know though. Maybe I'll start doing that every day now. Even if nobody's like gonna talk, because I put in kids audience mode so nobody talks in comments, because that's not the purpose. Which book are you reading? Hello, Rula Tootie. We're reading The Fellowship of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings series. And I was going upstairs and I fell over twice. What? You fell over? Dang. Are you sure you didn't just trip, or was it actually because of the lightheadedness? You didn't turn the live chat. Yeah, it was so whenever you live stream, it asks you, do you want this for kids or not kids? And I always put not kids so that it's interactive. If it's in kids mode, there's no chatting, there's no live streaming or commenting. So I just put it in kids mode so like, you know, nobody interrupts me while I read quiet because I can't resist replying to anybody who talks. I didn't trip or anything. I just felt really disassociated, and I slowly felt maybe it's low iron. Yeah, anemia. Yeah. Make sure you get some iron supplements, iron tablets. Like my mom takes that, so you can drink milk or eat healthy. You'll be fine, inshallah. She said she already eats healthy, bro. And wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sajid Bari, welcome back to the stream. How's it going? My sweet Sajid Bari. Alright, so let's continue reading. Or do you want to say how your day is, Air Scott? Because I don't know if I asked. But yeah, Queen, are you feeling better? Or I did eat kind of unhealthy today, though. Oh, man, what'd you have? Nah, she eats McDonald's, I know that. Okay, not every day. Right, Queen? Macca's. Yeah, McDonald's is unhealthy, actually. Bro, I haven't had Macca's in over a month. I knew it. I said Macca's before she said that, so that's the part that I said I knew it. But that's a lie, Queen. What? Eriska, how do you know what she eats? No, it's not, but it's fine. Oh yeah, but what'd you have, Queen? Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Things that are unhealthy could... There's like a range for how unhealthy something could be. To tell the truth, he was very reluctant to start now that it had come to the point. Bag End seemed a more desirable residence than it had for years, and he wanted to savor as much as he could of his last summer in the Shire. When autumn came, he knew that part at least of his heart would think more kindly of journeying, as it always did at that season. He had indeed privately made up his mind to leave on his 50th birthday, Bilbo's 128th. It seemed somehow the proper day on which to set out and follow him. Following Bilbo was uppermost in his mind, and the only thing that made the thought of leaving bearable. He thought as little as possible about the ring and where it might lead him in the end, but he did not tell all his thoughts to Gandalf. What the wizard guessed was always difficult to tell. He looked at Frodo and smiled. "Very well," he said. "I think that will do, but it must not be any later. I'm getting very anxious. In the meanwhile, do take care, and don't let out any hint of where you are going. And see that Sam Gamgee does not talk. If he does, I really shall turn him into a toad." I had cereal, chocolate, half a can of Monster Energy. What? You with energy drinks? You're a kid. Even I never had an energy drink before. And I'm like, oh. Nachos and snack packet of gummies. I mean, how bad were the nachos though? Like, did it have like protein in it? Was it like homemade? Nachos are not always unhealthy. Like, you could have like ground beef, sour cream, guac, and it's not too bad. But if you're talking just like nacho cheese and the tostadas or something, Tostitos, yeah, that's not good. See, she eats unhealthy foods. Okay, but it's not like a habit, is it? The cereal was Special K, by the way. Okay, so those Kellogg cereals are not the worst. No. Wait, I had an apple as well. Okay, apples are really, really good. An apple a day keeps the doctor away because of all the benefits, you know. It's kind of the thing that you should eat like as soon as you wake up on an empty stomach, because it's like, I don't know, I just saw that on a Instagram reel or post. But yeah, Eriska, what did you have? Queen, you're young, come on, understand now or life will teach you. Yeah, I mean, energy drinks at that age, like, how do you get your hands on an energy drink? Alright. "As for where I am going," said Frodo, "it would be difficult to give that away, for I have no clear idea myself yet." "Don't be absurd," said Gandalf. "I'm not warning you against leaving an address at the post office, but you are leaving the Shire, and that should not be known until you are far away. and you must go, or at least set out, either north, south, west, or east, and the direction should certainly not be known. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Yo, Lady Bluebell, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to this stream. How's it going? Nice to see you again. I made some new friends in college. No way! That's great news, Erica. I'm so glad. But yeah. How did you make friends with them? I've been so taken up with the thoughts of leaving Bag End and of saying farewell that I have never even considered the direction, said Frodo. For where am I to go, and by what shall I steer? What is to be my quest? Bilbo went to find a treasure, there and back again, but I got to lose one and not return, as far as I can see. But you cannot see very far, said Gandalf. Neither can I. It may be your task to find the cracks of doom, but that quest may be for others. I do not know. At any rate, you are not ready for that long road yet. No, indeed, said Frodo. But in the meantime, what course am I to take? Towards danger, but not too rashly, nor too straight, answered the wizard. If you want my advice, make for Rivendell. That journey should not prove too perilous, though the road is less easy than it was, and it will grow worse as the year fails. Everybody's quite young here. Nah, don't worry, Lady Bluebell. The average age is probably like 19. I asked their names and places and some little bit of talk about the course. Oh, okay. Nice. But like, did you guys share contacts like Instagrams or Discords or like I don't know what their socials are to like connect with friends? The mainstream like way to connect in my university is like through Discord. Yeah, WhatsApp number. Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, I have WhatsApp groups of my college peers only when it comes to like clubs. Like I'm not in any clubs, only just the MSA, which is like Muslim Student Association. If you're Muslim in university, like it's kind of like automatic, like you have to go in there. Cause it's just more Islamic that way. I don't use Insta. Okay, that's good. Honestly, man, like I can't explain how good it is to not use Instagram. Cause, you know, as much as you get, or like me, I get a lot of inspiration from there. Look at recipes, and it's like really good for the way that I use it. But sometimes, like you could come across things that, man, it's absolutely insane. Like today, I saw like this video that it's so sad that people just take videos of this. But like this guy was overworked. He's in China, right, and he's just like in the middle of a panic attack, and he's still working, and then he just collapsed on the floor. Like they're just saying, "Is my order ready yet?" Like while they could visibly see that he's suffering. And I just felt so bad. I was like, oh my god, man, like the world is insane. I wish I could do something about it, like save everybody, but I can't even save myself, you know. It just makes me feel really helpless. I guess raising awareness is good though. They'll protect everybody somehow. I mean, they're kuffar, but like still. Ancient people don't use Insta. No, he's actually really young. But yeah, Instagram, it's just, it could be really negative sometimes. I mean, it's known for its negativity. Like, people on Instagram versus YouTube, it's like, that's a huge meme too. Because the comment section, they're just so outspoken sometimes. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it's like, it hardens your heart. You should, like, yeah, take some time off Instagram. But you don't even use it, so I'm just saying, like, that's really good. I used to be so addicted to Insta, so I have decided to delete my account and start to focus on life. That's awesome, bro. Like, I thought you never even went on Instagram. As in, like, that's why you're not addicted. But if you could manage to get out of that addiction of Instagram, like, after deleting it, that's awesome. Because, yeah, focusing on real life, that's what I'm trying to do right now, honestly. Like, I'm at this stage where I let go of everything. I'm just bored at this point. Like, I used to use the internet a lot for, like, random stuff. But now it's just like screaming and talking to my real life friends and my sister. You can log in without deleting stuff's broad control is a cool thing to do. Yeah, but like they use like Harvard level studies to hook people onto their devices. Like that's they have like actual studies based on these things. It's not like, oh, you're the problem for being addicted. No, it's like they're setting us up for that. But yeah, welcome back, Queen. How's it going? Addiction kills focus, to be honest. Yeah, man. That's so true. Phone addiction, especially. But like addictions in general, too much of anything is bad. So, yeah. Towards danger, but not too. Okay. Rivendell, said Frodo. Very good. I'll go east and I'll make for Rivendell. I'll take Sam to visit the elves. He will be delighted. He spoke lightly, but his heart was moved suddenly with a desire to see the house of Elrond half elven, and breathe the air of that deep valley where many of the fair folk still dwelt in peace. One summer's evening, an astonishing piece of news reached the ivy bush and green dragon. Green dragon? I thought there were no more dragons in the world. Giants and other portents on the border of the Shire were forgotten for more important matters. Mr. Frodo was selling Bag End. Indeed, he had already sold it to the Sackville Bagginses. What? He sold Bag End? That's insane. Caca. Everything in excess is poisonous. By my social pharmacy teacher. Yeah, that's true. Even sleeping and eating, like, it's really bad for you. Limiting beliefs. Yo, Star Ruby Ritual, welcome to this stream. That's a weird profile picture. Kind of reminds me of, like, Satanism. Or, like, rituals. Wait, your name is Ritual. Oh my god. That's weird. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Please don't say anything weird. For a nice bit too, said some. At a bargain price, said others. And that's more likely when Mr. Slobelius, the buyer, although had died some years before at the ripe but disappointed age of 102. Ripe? 102? What the heck? Just why Mr. Frodo was selling his beautiful hull was even more debatable than the price. A few held a theory, supported by the nods and hints of Mr. Baggins himself, that Frodo's money was running out. He was going to leave Hobbiton and live in a quiet way on the proceeds of the sale down in Buckland among his Brandybuck relations, as far from the Sackville Bagginses as may be, some added. But so firmly fixed had the motion of the immeasurable wealth of the Bagginses of Bag End become that most found this hard to believe, harder than any other reason or unreason that their fancy could suggest. To most, it suggested a dark and yet unrevealed plot by Gandalf, though he kept himself very quiet and did not go about by day. It was well known that he was hiding up in the Bag End, but however a removal might fit in with the design of his wizardry, there was no doubt about the fact Frodo Baggins was going back to Buckland. Today's Independent Day here in India. It is 80th independence. Ooh, wait, independence from the British? That's crazy. So, India is basically like 80 years old or what? Actually, no, it's not 80 years old. Like, it exists the whole time, but yeah, that's awesome. So like, do you guys do anything for it? Like, are there? I bet there's like fireworks. Yes, from the British. Okay. But yeah, happy Independence Day. Like, I feel like every single country has an Independence Day against the British. Like, it's crazy how bad they are. And they just like existing still. They're like the Israel after Israel. Yes, I shall be moving this autumn, he said. Mary Brandy Buck is looking out for a nice little hole for me, or perhaps a small house. As a matter of fact, with Mary's help, he had already chosen and bought a little house at Crick Hollow in the country beyond Bucklebury. To all but Sam, he pretended he was going to settle down there permanently, The decision to set out eastward had suggested that idea to him, for Buckland was on the eastern borders of the Shire, and as he had lived there in childhood, his going back was at least incredible. Gandalf stayed in the Shire for over 2 months. Then, one evening, at the end of June, soon after Frodo's plan had been finally arranged, he suddenly announced that he was going off again next morning. Only for a short while, I hope, he said, but I'm going down beyond the southern borders to get some news, if I can. I have been idle longer than I should. Scott Indian? Yeah, he is. He spoke lightly, but it seemed to Frodo that he looked rather worried. Has anything happened? He asked. So this is Gandalf talking to Frodo. Because Frodo is actually invested in this. Like, he sold Bag End. Like, that's like Bilbo's prized possession more than anything. And he just gave that away. It's crazy. But he had to. He has to destroy the ring and actually never come back. What? How is that possible that he's just like, okay with that? The Prime Minister hoisting the national flag at the Red Fort in New Delhi, armed forces and police units perform ceremonial marches. It's 32 days until my birthday. Whoa, that's actually so close. So what is August plus 32? August 15. That's September 17. Oh wow. State capitals host similar flag hoisting events led by chief ministers. Nice. Okay. Well, no, but I have heard something that has made me anxious and needs looking into. If I think it necessary, after all, for you to go off at once, I shall come back immediately, or at least send word. In the meanwhile, stick to your plan, but be more careful than ever, especially of the ring. Let me impress on you once more. Don't use it. Wait, is this actually Gandalf talking? Well, no, I've heard something that has made me anxious and needs looking into it. But I think it's necessary after all for you to get off at once. You should come back immediately, or at least send me. Meanwhile, stick to your plan. Be more careful. So is it Sam or Gandalf? Anyways, he went off at dawn. I may be back any day, he said. At the very latest, I shall come back for the farewell party. I think, after all, you may need my company on the road. At first, Frodo was a good deal disturbed, and wondered often what Gandalf could have heard. But his uneasiness wore off, and in the fine weather he forgot his troubles for a while. The Shire had seldom seen so fair a summer, or so rich an autumn. The trees were laden with apples, honey was dripping in the combs, and the corn was tall and full. Autumn was well under way before Frodo began to worry about Gandalf again. September was passing, and there was still no news of him. The birthday? Hey, September birthday. Wait, you Queen has the same birthday as Frodo and Bilbo. Well, I don't know the same day though. Scott leaking military secrets. No, it's public stuff. So, lady, like a gift list. What do you want on your birthday? I gotta write a list. Ooh, probably some squishies or like slime. Like maybe not slime, like Needle or dumpling. But I think she already has all that. Do you like those Touchland hair mists? It was sarcasm, Habibti. Oh, my bad. Autumn was well underway before Frodo began to worry about Gandalf again. September was passing, and there was still no news of him. The birthday and the removal drew nearer, and still he did not come or send word. Bag End began to be busy. Some of Frodo's friends came to stay and help him with the packing. There was Frediger, Bulger, and Folko Boffin, and of course his special friends Pippin Took and Merry Brandybuck. Between them, they turned the whole place upside down. On September 20th, 2 covered carts went off laden to Buckland, conveying the furniture and goods that Frodo had not sold to his new home, by way of the Brandywine Bridge. The next day, Frodo became really anxious and kept a constant lookout for Gandalf. Thursday, his birthday morning, dawned as fair and clear as it had long ago for Bilbo's great party. Still, Gandalf did not appear. In the evening, Frodo gave his farewell feast. It was quite small, just a dinner for himself and his 4 helpers, but he was troubled and felt in no mood for it. The thought that he would so soon have to part with his young friends weighed on his heart. He wondered how he would break it to them. The 4 younger hobbits were, however, in high spirits, and the party soon became very cheerful in spite of Gandalf's absence. The dining room was bare except for a table and chairs, but the food was good, and there was good wine. Frodo's wine had not been included in the sale to the Sackville Bagginses. Whatever happened to the rest of my stuff when the SVs get their claws on it, at any rate, I have found a good home for this, said Frodo as he drained his glass. It was the last drop of old Wynyards. What's wrong with that? Buy something good stuff. Bro, Queen skincare on your birthday? Reaction. Definitely some skincare, maybe some makeup. Yeah, maybe a few fidget, but I don't know. And ooh, I want a phone case that isn't clear so that people can see my credit card. Ooh, you have a credit card? That's cool. Phone case is a good idea. Skincare is good too. Like, it's not like a waste of money. What's wrong with wanting skincare? Nothing. Bro, Scott, let her decide her gift. Anyway, it's up to you. So buy anything, whatever you want. Yeah. If you get a lot of money on your birthday. Skincare can be pretty expensive, but if you get the right stuff, it's affordable. I guess he found it like weird to ask that for your birthday because it's more like an essential more than like a gift type. I don't know though. It's more like a need than a want. That's how important skincare is. Not that I do it. I just like use a cleanser and like sunscreen. I have a tinted sunscreen. So yeah. Yo, I'm playing Minecraft right now. Nice. Welcome to the stream. Guilty as going. Anyways, it's up to okay. So when they had sung many songs and talked of many things they had done together, they toasted Bilbo's birthday and they drank his health and Frodo's together, according to Frodo's custom. Then they went out for a sniff of air and glimpse of the stars, and then they went to bed. Frodo's party was over, and Gandalf had not come. You're talking to me? Am I? I'm talking to everybody. I just want a good moisturizer and sunscreen bubble, or Sincerely Yours would be cool. Yeah, I hope you get those for your birthday, Queen. Those are good. Yes, guilty. The next morning, they were busy packing another cart with the remainder of the luggage. Mary took charge of this and drove off with Fanny. That is Frederick Bulger. Someone must get there and warm the house before you arrive, said Mary. Well, see you later, the day after tomorrow if you don't go to sleep on the way. Volka was home after lunch, but Pippin remained behind. Frodo was restless and anxious, listening in vain for a sound of Gandalf. He decided to wait until nightfall. After that, if Gandalf wanted him urgently, he would go to Crick Hollow and might even get there first. For Frodo was going on foot. His plan for pleasure and a last look at the Shire, as much as any other reason, was to walk from Hobbiton to Bucklebury Ferry and taking it fairly easy. I shall get myself a bit into training too, he said, looking at himself in a dusty mirror in the half-empty hall. He had not done any strenuous walking for a long time, and the reflection looked rather flabby, he thought. After lunch, the Sackville Bagginses, Lobelia, and her sandy-haired son, Slotho, turned up, much to Frodo's annoyance. Ours at last, said Lobelia as she stepped inside. It was not polite nor strictly true, for the sale of the wagon did not take effect until midnight, but Lobelia can perhaps be forgiven. She had been obliged to wait about 77 years long for Bagan than she once hoped, and she was now 100 years old. Anyway, she had come to see that nothing she has paid for had been carried off, and she wanted the keys. It took a long while to satisfy her, as she had brought a complete inventory with her and went right through it. In the end, she departed with Lotto and the spare key and the promise that the other key would be left at the Gamgees in Bagshot Row. She snorted and showed plainly that she thought the Gamgee capable of plundering the hold during the night. Frodo did not offer her anything. Okay, so Gamgee is like Sam Gamgee, so I think she's related to Sam, and that's like where they live, so yeah. Queen, to answer your question. Sky recording are so basic, but yeah, true. Jojo, bro, it's too late for this. Yo, Mr. Macaroni, yeah, it is pretty late. It's 2 a.m. But I'm always like awake at this time. I don't know. I guess when it comes to summer, I'm a bit nocturnal. But I can't be doing this for too long. Like, school literally starts in like 5 days. It's so sad. I don't want to go back to school. Yo, Dre, did you take my headphones? Maybe. Chances are low, but it's never zero. My Bio was asking it. There's Bio? Body odor? Bruh. Just kidding. Wait, guilty. Do you actually have kids? Or is it just a bit? His queen, he has 3 kids. No way! Keep your expectations low and you'll never be disappointed. For my goat Kratos. Yeah. 1 girl and 2 boys. Wait, how do you know this much stuff, Eris? His wife's dead. Oh my goodness. My wife died in Poland. I kind of thought you were like my age. I don't know why I thought that. Same! I thought he was young too. My B. Inna lillah. Oh no, I think. Wait, are you actually being serious? Guilty? I don't know. Queen, he's not Unk, but like he's young. Okay. Maybe because it's like 2 a.m. I'm just a little bit like slow. Like, you know how autistic people, they can't tell sarcasm. Like, all these jokes are going over my head for some reason. Normally I'd get them. I'd be like, oh yeah. I don't know. Okay. He took his own tea with Pippin and Sam Gamgee in the kitchen. It had been officially announced that Sam was coming to Buckland to do for Mr. Frodo and look after his bit of garden, an arrangement that was approved by the gaffer, though it did not console him for the prospect of having Lobelia as a neighbor. Our last meal at Bag End, said Frodo, pushing back his chair. They left the washing up for Lobelia. Pippin and Sam strapped up their 3 packs and piled them in the porch. Pippin went out for a last stroll in the garden. Sam disappeared. The sun went down. Baggins seemed sad and gloomy and disheveled. Frodo wandered round the familiar rooms and saw the light of the sunset fade on the walls, and shadows creep out of the corners. It grew slowly dark indoors. He went out and walked down the gate to the gate at the bottom of the path, and then on a short way down the hill road. He half expected to see Gandalf come striding up through the dusk. The sky was clear and the stars were growing bright. It's going to be a fine night, he said aloud. That's good for a beginning. I feel like walking. I can't bear any more hanging out. I'm going to start, and Gandalf must follow me. He turned to go back and then stopped, for he heard voices just round the corner by the end of Bagshot Road. One voice was certainly the old gaffer's. The other was strange, and somehow unpleasant. He could not make out what it said, but he heard the gaffer's answers, which were rather shrill. The old man seemed put out. No, Mr. Baggins has gone away. Went this morning, and my son went with him. Anyway, all his stuff went. Yes, sold out and gone, I tell you. Why? Why is none of my business or yours? Where to? That ain't no secret. He's moved to Bucklebury or some such place, away down yonder. Yes, it is, a tidy way. I've never been so far myself. They're queer folks in Buckland. No, I can't give no message. Good night to you. Yo, doggy, welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Come on, Julia, understand. Okay. No, cause like lady actually thinks like she's saying that no, to clear the air, I'm young and I don't actually have a kid and a wife. However, what? What is the however part? You broke the character, man. True. Aries, I had to start to feel bad. Wife left me. Oh, so you're single now. Like you never had a wife or a kid, but it's like they left you alone that like far away that you felt like you never had them in the first place. My wife is Tofu, bro. Tofu was here yesterday, bro. Eris, you should have seen what happened yesterday. It was so bad. Okay, so Tofu. I feel like you already know this though, cause Tofu made a post and then you saw it before me. Like that's what he told me. But like he said that like his family has been going through stuff, and then he told me about it. Like his sister got divorced or whatever. I was like, that's good. I was on the sister side. Okay, I don't think it clocked to him that I was taking his sister's side before even understanding or like hearing what happened, like why the divorce took place. I'm not interested in why. I already know it's not her fault. Cause I'm just like sexist like that. Like he already knows that. But he took it really bad, and like he just left the stream. Like he was just like really sad. He's like, I thought you were mature or something. And then I started to feel bad. I was like, what? I was taking your sister's side in the first place. Like, that was not wrong. Where's satay? What's satay? Ooh, I always wanted to try that. It's like this chicken skewer for like Indonesians or something. Wife fled to Poland and passed away 98 years ago. Dang, you're like a hobbit. You don't know what satay is? I mean, it's not right to just take anyone's side without knowing the context, regardless of their gender. Okay, true, but still, I'd be like, divorce is good if you have a problem with a guy. Because staying in a marriage where it doesn't work, divorce is the best thing for that, situation. And that statement of, like, divorce being good for something that hasn't been working out for a long time, it's genderless, It works for both genders, for both people. It's not really taking a side. I'm just saying it's good. When I heard they got divorced, I'm like, that's good. Like that was my first reaction. I was not even faking it. Okay, I'm not trying to be non-empathetic. I'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that, your sister, and I hope things get better in your family, and all. I should have said that, but it just came out like good. Why Drea hand so red? Oops. I don't know. My mom always like touched my hand. She's like, why is it so warm? But yeah. I have like worker hands, like they're not very feminine. Like I'll be making bikes and furniture and putting stuff together and gardening and all. I'm like a hobbit too. I shouldn't have broke character. Oops. We'll pretend like that's still going. You could roleplay. Yes, but sometimes little situations get worse, leading to divorce. Divorce does not always have to mean that there's a big problem. Maybe the two people have reacted, I don't know. But again, I ain't taking anybody's side, so let's leave it, I guess. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Small things, they do add up. Snowball effects, It's like, oh, you didn't take out the trash when I told you to. You don't respect me enough to listen to me. Let me get a divorce. But in that case, divorce is still good. I don't know what the problem was by saying good to divorce. Yes, it's sad if it meant something in the beginning, but that's just your human emotions going through the ropes, like, I don't know. Where's Inksalot? I just dropped him off. He literally walked away right after you left the room. Wait, it's not satay. Dang. Oh, did you talk to that tofu guy? Oh no, I didn't. Wait, I should apologize, but I didn't go to his profile after that. I just went to sleep right after the stream yesterday. But yeah. I I should do that. But I thought he'd come to this stream, then I could talk again. But I don't think he will come back. At least not for a little while, because he seemed really upset. But yeah, I hope the satay or whatever you're eating, Queen, is healthy, because it's protein, right? Apologize for what? For saying, for reacting, like, not so empathetically when he was venting about his sister getting a divorce with her husband, who she left her 5-year-old kid with their grandparents, and she divorced him, and she was sad, and I was like, that's good. I didn't say that's good to the sad part. I was explaining even after that I was saying that's good to her getting divorced by him, because that's not actually really common. Like, people, they just like stay in marriages they're not happy with. So it's nice. It's a nice change of pace and scenery to see somebody actually getting a divorce in that part of the world. But he took it really bad. He said, "You're happy about that? Like, you're just laughing," and he got really sad. But he was probably feeling bad before he even joined the stream or said that. So makes sense. The sun went down. Baggins seemed sad and gloomy and disheveled. Frodo wandered around the familiar rooms. Okay, I'll do that. Poor guy. Yeah, he's really empathetic. He's a family guy. You should have said your point of view right after saying that's good. I feel like I did. Maybe I didn't. But he doesn't realize no one knows the full story. Yeah, I think it's healthy. It has beef and veggies. Wait, where did you get it from? Did you buy it? Damn, what a heavy topic. I know, right? I hope Tofu Sis and his family and his future wives and his future kids hope everything goes well. I mean, I hope so too. I'll explain to him if he comes back to this stream. Okay. Keep talking about him. He'll probably get summoned or something. Okay, just kidding. That's chick. But, yeah. My dad made it. Oh, nice. That's good. Home cooked meals are always good. Then froze it and he defrosted it today. Nice. That's smart, because when you cook something and then you freeze it and then just reheat it, like, that's like meal prep. What about Tofu's grandkids, Scott? That's thinking too far ahead, bro. These new generations, they don't like kids anymore. Beef and veggies are awesome. I know, right? Classic combo. Footsteps went away down the hill. Frodo wondered vaguely why the fact that they did not come on up the hill seemed a great relief. I'm sick of questions and curiosity about my doings, I suppose, he thought. What an inquisitive lot they all are. He had half a mind to go and ask the gaffer who the inquirer was, but he thought better or worse of it and turned and walked quickly back to Bag End. Pippin was sitting on his pack in the porch. Sam was not there. Frodo stepped inside the dark door. "Sam!" he called. "Sam! Time!" "Coming, sir," came the answer from far within, followed soon by Sam himself, wiping his mouth. He had been saying farewell to the beer barrel in the cellar. "All aboard, Sam?" said Frodo. "Yes, sir. I'll last for a bit now, sir." Frodo shut and locked the round door and gave the key to Sam. "Run down with this to your home, Sam," he said. "Then cut along the road and meet us as quick as you can at the gate in the lane beyond the meadows. We are not going through the village tonight." Too many ears pricking and eyes prying, Sam ran off at full speed. Veggies taste like depression. That's if you don't season it well. But yeah, their actual like raw taste is like unbearable sometimes. Like, I can't. Like, people, they cook veggies so that you could taste, you know, let the flavor of the vegetable shine, but nah. I mean, there was this one restaurant called like Eddie's. It's like an Italian restaurant, and they made this like veggie pasta where it was not even seasoned, like the vegetables, but it tasted so good. I'm like, how they made this? Like, you could taste all the veggies, but it did not taste terrible. And I'm not like a huge veggie person, but that was so good. I'm like, dang. It was like creamy though. I guess they did season it, but not as much as like it only tastes like the seasoning. You know what I mean? Happy Independence Day, doggy. Ah, yes, my Happy Independence Day. Veggies taste awesome depending on how you cook it. Exactly. Love it. Yeah, everything tastes good. It depends on how you cook it. I love carrots and capsicum by themselves. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, with ranch, it's good too, but by themselves is even better. Less calories. It's a special day in Bangladesh too, I guess. Really? What day is it? Is it like also Independence Day or something? Nah, I already said this. Oh wow, you went to a masjid, Aris? When was that? 3 times with my Muslim friend. Oh, I think you said that already. But yeah, that's awesome. You're very open-minded. Well, now we're off at last, said Frodo. They shouldered their packs and took up their sticks and walked round the corner to the west side of Bag End. Goodbye, said Frodo, looking at the dark blank windows. He waved his hand and then turned and, following Bilbo if he had known it, hurried after Peregrine down the garden path. They jumped over the low place in the hedge at the bottom and took them to the fields, passing into the darkness like a rustle in the grasses. Like Banga Bandhu, father of the nation, got shot 51 years ago today. Whoa. So it's not really a special day more than an important one. Dang, this chapter is long. So it ends at 106, so we're at 88. How much do we read? Only 8 pages. The whole thing is 26. So if we read 13 pages, like 5 more, we'll be halfway done. You should know, Drea. Me? No, wait, what? Me? I'm not. I don't say my ethnicity. I'm not. What you like? You're just guessing. Anyways. At the bottom, okay. At the bottom of the hill on its western side, they came to the gate opening onto a narrow lane. There they halted and adjusted the straps of their packs. Presently, Sam appeared, trotting quickly and breathing hard. His heavy pack was hoisted high on his shoulders, and he had put on his head a tall, shapeless felt bag, which he called a hat. In the gloom, he looked very much like a dwarf. I miss the dwarfs, bro. I'm sure you have given me all the heaviest stuff, said Frodo. I pity snails and all that carry their home on their backs. I could take a lot more yet, sir. My pack is quite light, said Sam stoutly and untruthfully. No, you don't, Sam, said Pippin. It is going good for him. He's got nothing except what he ordered us to pack. He's been slack lately, and he'll feel the weight less when he'd walk off some of his own. Be kind to a poor old hobbit, laughed Frodo. I shall be as thin as a willow wand, I'm sure, before I get to Buckland. But I was talking nonsense. I suspect you have taken more than your share, Sam, and I shall look into it at our next packing. He picked up his stick again. Well, we all like walking in the dark, he said, so let's put some miles behind us before bed. How's the weather? It's good. Handle that. Honestly, it's way better than last week. Right now it's 69 degrees, which is like, I don't know, Celsius. 13 minus 69 divided by 2 is 34.5 minus 13 is 20 degrees Celsius? Somebody correct me on that. What the hell with those emojis? I'm feeling sleepy. You should go to sleep then. For a short way, they followed the lane westwards. Then, leaving it, they turned left and took quietly to the fields again. They went in single file along hedgerows and the borders of coppices, and night fell dark about them. In their dark cloaks they were as invisible as if they all had magic rings. Since they were all hobbits and were trying to be silent, they made no noise that even hobbits would hear. Even the wild things in the fields and woods hardly noticed their passing. Hey, math lady doing calculations. Am I right though? Were my calculations correct? The weather's perfect to go out and hunt for witches. Wow. Isn't it always good weather for that? I don't want to until you end the stream. Yeah, I know, meow meow. Oh wow. That's very loyal to stay still on the stream until I finish. Well, I was thinking of finishing 5 more pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe like 92, so that tomorrow it'll be like easier to finish. I don't know. So yeah, let's continue. After some time, they crossed the water west of Hobbiton by a narrow plank bridge. The stream was there no more than a winding back ribbon bordered with the leaning alder trees. A mile or two further south, they hastily crossed the great road from the Brandywine Bridge. They were now in the Tookland, and bending southeastward, they made for the Green Hill country. As they began to climb its first slopes, they looked back and saw the lamps in Hobbiton far off twinkling in the gentle valley of the water. Soon it disappeared in the folds of the darkened land, and was followed by bywater beside its grey pool. When the light of the last farm was far behind, peeping among the trees, Frodo turned and waved a hand in farewell. "I wonder if I shall ever look down into that valley again," he said quietly. When they had walked for about 3 hours, they rested. The night was clear, cool, and starry, but smoke-like wisps of mist were creeping up the hillside from streams and deep meadows. Thin-clad birches swaying in the light wind above their heads made a black net against the pale sky. They ate a very frugal supper for hobbits, and then went on again. Soon they struck a narrow road that went rolling up and down, fading grey into the darkness ahead. The road to Woodhall and Stock and the Bucklebury Ferry. They climbed away from the main road in the water valley and wound over the skirts of the green hills to towards Woody End, a wild corner of the East Farthing. Marvel Studios, yes, of course it is. They just dropped another trailer of Doomsday. Are you a male or female dog? Doggy is a guy. I've low-key been forgetting to type. Oh wow, so you actually like invested in the story? That's awesome. After a while, they plunged into a deeply cloven track between tall trees that rustled their dry leaves in the night. It was very dark. At first they talked or hummed a tune softly together, being now far away from the inquisitive ears. Then they marched on in silence, and Pippin began to lag behind. At last, as they began to climb a steep slope, he stopped and yawned. "I'm so sleepy," he said. Wow! Look, Eris here in the story. "That soon I shall fall down on the road." "Are you going to sleep on your legs? It is nearly midnight." "I thought you liked walking in the dark," said Frodo. But there is no great hurry. Mary expects us sometime the day after tomorrow, but that leaves us nearly 2 days more. We'll halt at the first likely spot." I'm a girl. I am. Hey girl. I meant, yeah, it's Queen and Lady Bluebell who were the main girls of the whole channel. We don't do genderisms though, we blend with everyone, bestie. Wow, look at that. Yo, I got $50. Eris dies in the story. $50? That's crazy. So I guess he's Pippin. "The wind's in the west," said Sam. "If we get to the other side of this hill, we shall find a spot that is sheltered and snug enough, sir. There is a dry fir wood just ahead, if I remember rightly." Sam knew the land well within 20 miles of Hobbiton, but that was the limit of his geography. Okay, that was cringe my bed. Just over the top of the hill, they came on the patch of firwood. Leaving the road, they went into the deep resin-scented darkness of the trees and gathered dead sticks and cones to make a fire. To make a fire. Soon they had a merry crackle of flame at the foot of a large fir tree, and they sat around it for a while until they began to nod their cloaks and blankets, and were then each in an angle of the great tree's roots. They curled up in their cloaks and blankets, and were soon fast asleep. They set no watch. Even Frodo feared no danger yet, for they were still in the heart of the Shire. A few creatures came and looked at them when the fire had died away. A fox passing through the wood on business of his own stopped several minutes and sniffed. "Hobbits," he thought. Well, what next? I've heard of strange doings in this land, but I've seldom heard of a hobbit sleeping out of the doors under a tree. 3 of them! There's something mighty queer behind this. He was quite right, but he never found out any more about it. Colleen, where are you from? She's from Australia. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's doggy's bed. Wow. My bed flew away. I was like, Queen, I said. The morning came, pale and clammy. Frodo woke up first and found that the tree root had made a hole in his back and that his neck was stiff. Walking for pleasure, why didn't I drive, he thought, as he usually did at the beginning of an expedition. And all my beautiful feather beds are sold to the sack of Bagginses. These tree root would do them good, he stretched. Wake up, hobbits, he cried. It's a beautiful morning. What's beautiful about it? Said Pippin, peering over the edge of his blanket with one eye. Sam, get breakfast ready for 9:30. Have you got the bathwater hot? Sam jumped up and looked rather blurry. No, sir, I haven't, sir, he said. Frodo stripped the blankets from Pippin and rolled him over and then walked off to the edge of the wood. Away eastward, the sun was rising red out of the mists that lay thick on the world. Touched with the golden red, the autumn trees seemed to be sailing rootless in a shadowy sea. A little below him, to the left of the road, ran down steeply into a hollow and disappeared. A little below him, to the left of the road, ran down steeply. When he returned, Sam and Pippin had got a good fire going. Water, shouted Pippin. Where's the water? I don't keep water in my pocket, said Frodo. We thought you had gone to find some, said Pippin, busy setting out the wood and tubs. You had better go now. You can come too, said Frodo, and bring all the water bottles. There was a stream at the foot of the hill. They filled their bottles with the small camping kettle at a little fall where the water fell a few feet over an outcrop of grey stone. It was icy cold, and they spluttered and puffed as they bathed their faces and hands. When their breakfast was over and their packs all trussed up again, it was after 10 o'clock and the day was beginning to turn fine and hot. They went down the slope and across the stream where it dived under the road and up the next slope and up and down another shoulder of hill. And by the time their cloaks, blankets, water, food, and other gear already seemed a heavy burden. The day's march promised to be warm and tiring work. After some miles, however, the road ceased to roll up and down. They climbed to the top of a steep bank in a very zigzagging sort of way, and then prepared to go down for the last time. In front of them they saw the lower lands dotted with small clumps of trees that melted away in the distance to a brown woodland haze. They were looking across the woody end towards the Brandywine River. The road wound away before them like a piece of string. The road goes on forever, said Pippin, but I can't without a rest. It is a high time for lunch. He sat down on the bank at the side of the road and looked away east into the haze, beyond which lay the river, and the end of the shire in which he had spent all his life. Sam stood by him. His round eyes were wide open, for he was looking across lands he had never seen to a new horizon. Do elves live in those woods? He asked. No, not that I've heard, said Pippin. Frodo was silent. He too was gazing eastward along the road, as if he had never seen it before. Suddenly he spoke aloud, but as if to himself, saying slowly, the road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow if I can, pursuing it with wary feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet, and whither then I cannot say. They already did some mixed breeding with you, Eris. Wait, Eris, you're Muslim? No, I'm Christian with a Muslim mind who has a Hindu body. Dang, that is a lot of stuff going on. Eris is Christian with a Muslim mind and a Buddhist soul. 4-in-1 combo. Dang, you'd be like a number one item on like a restaurant menu. It's like you got all the flavors. Like I had Chinese food today or yesterday because it's 2 a.m. and the best thing on the menu is the 3-flavor fried rice. It's like you can't go wrong with that. Hi, yo, Shadow, welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Long time no see, guys. Yeah, long time no see. I remember you said that you're not Muslim, right, Shadow? But then I checked your page, and you have Quran on it. I don't know if that was you or somebody else. I was like, why are you sharing Quran if you're not Muslim? Do you have any interest in Islam, or are you trying to be Muslim? Flavor is great at chill. Oops, my bad. Same happened to Bangladesh quota movie moment. News channels still try hard to declare the cockroaches as anti-national. Cockroaches? I've seen kangaroos trespassing in people's houses in reels. Oh yeah, they're so unhinged, those kangaroos. Silence is a key to depression, guys. As simple as. What? Is Shadow still here? Is he typing or what? But yeah, I mean, if there's a quote on depression, it's that depression can't hit a moving target. So always do your exercise and like get movement. All right. Otherwise, depression and rumination can't hit you. Eris, what are you saying, bro? I don't know. Scott trying to be the best motivator he can. All right. Yeah, I mean that's his whole page. Like if you see his YouTube channel, it's like all motivation talk. I'm a toxic motivator. I see. Alright. Sounds a little bit of old Bilbo's rhyming, said Pippin. Or is it one of your imitations? It does not sound altogether encouraging. I don't know, said Frodo. It came to me then as if I was making it up, but I may have heard it long ago. Certainly it reminds me very much of Bilbo in the last years, before he went away. He used often to say there was only one road, that it was like a great river. Its springs were at every doorstep, and every path was its river. That was its tributary. It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out of your door, he used to say. You step into the road and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. Do you realize that this is the very path that goes through Mirkwood, and that if you let it, it might take you to the Lonely Mountain or even further into worse places? He used to say that on the path outside the front door at Baggin, especially after he had been out for a long walk. Well, the road won't sweep me anywhere for an hour at least, said Pippin, unslinging his pack. The others followed his example, putting their packs against the bank and their legs out into the road. After a rest, they had a good lunch and then more rest. The sun was beginning to get low, and the light of afternoon was on the land as they went down the hill. So far, they had not met a soul on the road. This was not much use, being hardly fit for carts, and there was little traffic to the woody end. They had been jogging along again for an hour or more when Sam stopped a moment as if listening. They were now on level ground, and the road was much winding, lay straight ahead through grassland sprinkled with tall trees, outliers of the approaching woods. What are you studying? I'm just reading a book. Like I'm not studying anything. It's just called The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the Lord of the Rings series. But yeah, it's really good. I like it so far. I mean, most people might find it boring, but it's cute. It's all like friends. Russell's studying. She's reading. Okay, same thing. But Shadow, you didn't answer what I was asking you. Wait, did you? Oh, let me see. I got some Muslim friends. I don't use YouTube that much. They told me to share a video in Arabic. I didn't know what it was. They told me just to do it, so I didn't know it was. It was a year or two ago. Forgot it was there. Oh, okay. Wait, so you have Muslim friends, but you never like considered Islam? Read equals study. I guess so. But yeah, I'm halfway done with the chapter now, so I'm gonna end it here. Inshallah. Just so like Eris can go to sleep. Or should I keep going and just let Arrow go to sleep? Eris. I said Arrow. Where's that guy? No, actually it's so late. Arrow would not be on the screen right now. To have red eyes and are so hard to see unless you're looking for them. They'll hide up in the trees, drop you, and attack you until you shut it up. What is it? So they're like koalas, but much worse. Have y'all ever heard of drop bears? No, but they sound really scary. They sound like those rabbits that they use for like those labs, because that's the only place I've seen red eyes. Don't let Eris sleep. You know what? That's a good idea, Guilty. Let's keep reading. Let's finish the chapter. We only read for 1 hour. This is crazy. What do you mean keep going? Say keep reading. Yeah, keep reading. Alright, let's go. I could hear a pony or a horse coming along the road behind, said Sam. They looked back, but the turn of the road prevented them from seeing far. I wonder if that is Gandalf coming after us, said Frodo. But even as he said it, he had a feeling that it was not so, and a sudden desire to hide from the view of the rider came over him. It may not matter much, he said apologetically. I'd rather not be seen on the road by anyone. I'm sick of my doings being noticed and discussed. And if it is Gandalf, he added as an afterthought, we can give him a little surprise to pay him out for being so late. Let's get out of sight. The other two ran quickly to the left and down into a little hollow not far from the road. There they lay flat. Frodo hesitated for a second. Curiosity or some other feeling was struggling with his desire to hide. The sound of hooves drew nearer. Just in time, he threw himself down in a patch of long grass behind a tree that overshadowed the road. Then he lifted his head and peered cautiously above one of the great roots. Round the corner came a black horse. No hobbit pony, but a full-sized horse, and on it sat a large man who seemed to crouch in the saddle, wrapped in a great black cloak and hood, so that only his boots and the high stirrups showed below. His face was shadowed and invisible. When it reached the trees and he was level with Frodo, the horse stopped. The riding figure sat quite still with its head bowed, as if listening. From the inside the hood came a noise as of someone sniffing to catch an elusive scent. The head turned from side to side of the road. Ooh, that's scary! Dang! A sudden unreasoning fear of discovery laid hold of Frodo, and he thought of his ring. He hardly dared to breathe, and yet the desire to get it out of his pocket became so strong that he began slowly to move his hand. He felt that he had only to slip it on, and then he would be safe. The advice of Gandalf seemed absurd. Bilbo had used the ring, and I'm still in the Shire, he thought, and his hand touched the chain on which it hung. At that moment, the rider sat up and shook the reins. The horse stepped forward, walking slowly at first, and then breaking into a quick trot. Dang! So, the ring is actually has a mind of its own. Like, it controls people. And, also, what's it called? I was gonna say something, I forgot. Also, yeah, the man could have been the necromancer. Like, that is so scary. Snap back to reality. Wake up to reality. I watched the show, it was boring, to be honest. What show? The Lord of the Rings? Like, you have to watch it again then. Like, the book is so much more cool. Not gonna lie, you're good at reading. You could be some teacher to kids. Thank you! Yeah, that was my first job, which was, like, not even that long ago. I only worked for, like, 5 days. But it was fun. Like, I didn't read, obviously. It was, like, a summer camp, so I was just, like, having fun. But, yeah. I might be a Sunday school teacher. I don't know. I have to try to work. Because I'm still a student myself, so I can't really work too much, like, an actual job. But Sunday school teacher would be kind of nice. It would fit my schedule. And I need the money, bro. Like, my tuition, it costs so much. Anyway, so should we stop here? Should I finish the chapter? I don't really know how far to go, to be honest. Chapter's too long to finish, though. Wait. I'm not in chapter 4. I'm on chapter 3. Okay. Alright, I think I'll stop here then. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next stream. Inshallah, it's 2:42 a.m. I don't know what I'm gonna do right now. But yeah, take care, guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye.